My name's Ed.
And I'm Kathy Linebaugh.
We've been married 46 years and about 2 months.
Well, that's a long story.
Make it short.
Yes. We met in Berlin in 1976.
Berlin, Germany.
So I went over in 1975 with my parents. My dad worked for the Air Force. And then Ed came over in, when did you come?
I was in the Army. That was in 1976 I arrived. She was already there.
I was there. I was a sophomore in high school. I would see him everywhere I'd go. You know, I'd go to the movie, he would be there. I'd go to the PX, he would be there. It was a small community, military community. So I saw him and I was intrigued. And he kept walking by. And so he finally stopped and said, "Congratulations." So I said, "Congratulations for what?" "On your engagement." "I'm not engaged." And so he was surprised. It was because John, my friend, told Ed that we were engaged. And because I told John, I said, "John, I want to meet him." "Who is he?" "I want to meet him." And so that kind of led to that. And then I started working in the hospital as a senior in high school. And it was in the same clinic that Ed was. He asked me for some coffee and so forth and so on. Then he asked me for my number. "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll give you the number, but I don't think you'll ever call." So he did one night, called me and asked me out. And I said, it was on a Wednesday night, and I said, "I'm sorry, I can't go because I go to church, but you're welcome to come with me." And sure enough, he did. He went. I was shocked. And so it was after that that we studied with him and he was baptized. Then he got shipped out from Berlin to Bremerhaven on the North Sea coast. But he'd come back every other weekend to see me. And then it was in February that,
1977.
yeah, that's February 77 that he asked me to marry him. And we got married in August, that next August. So it was, we were only engaged for 6 months, I think. His smile. That's what it was. I loved his smile. He had perfect teeth. And so it was his smile from a distance because that's the only thing I knew of him.
Her cuteness. She was a sweet looking thing, and I was just instantly attracted to her. I'm tall and she's shorter, and that's just kind of the draw, for me. She lived the life that she professed. She was living for Christ, and that's probably what drew me to her the most. Besides, physical attraction was just that.
I remember we were sat on the steps of was it? No, the church, Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial, which was an old bombed out church. We sat on those steps one evening. I guess it was getting dark. And he was telling me about his past, the way he used to live. He did the drugs and did the military scene. And I told him then, I said, "You got to make a choice because it's either that lifestyle or it's me. You can't have both." So, do you remember that?
I do. And I said, "Okay."
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He said, "Okay." And then he changed.
Biggest adjustment for me is just letting go of self, letting go of what I want to do versus what is best for Kathy and best for both of us and best for our family.
You're used to being yourself, by yourself, doing whatever you want to do. And all of a sudden you're together and you have to then compromise And not always, I try not to always do what I want to do. I try to do what he wants to do because we were so different. In everything, we like things different. He liked rock and roll, and I liked country. And you like to take long drives. I hate being in a car. So we're so different in what we like.
But we adapted. I think love looks like Jesus. But how does that look? Serving one another, doing things that maybe I would not want to necessarily do at that moment, but I do that because it's the right thing to do. Just serving. Sometimes it may feel like we're doing, the same thing every day, the same way, that there's a routine. But I think that's okay, that's good, as long as it's a good routine, and just, keep practicing and just keep doing, keep going.
We don't always have to be doing the same thing at the same time to know that, yes, indeed, he does love me and I love him. But because our first, 10 years was very difficult because I was so insecure. I knew that he would probably leave. It was just a matter of when. But then when he didn't, that told me, wow, he's different than any other man that's been in my life. His commitment, and I think that that's the biggest word, is commitment. And the one thing that we said at the beginning of our marriage was we would never, ever, no matter what, use the word divorce. We never, no matter how upset we got with each other, never used that word. It was not in our vocabulary because it was not an option for us.
I'd say love in its fullest sense of agape love, that love that gives without expecting in return.
The commitment, because you have to be committed every day.
I love your Christ-likeness, your godliness, that you love the Lord with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I can see that in your commitment and love for us and for our family.
Well, I love the way that you have grown like Christ, that you give of yourself to others. You always put others first before yourself. And you always do for others before you do for yourself. And I love that. Sometimes I don't love that. But sometimes, most of the time I do.
Right now or later.